This video is about what happens when you add sea salt to your water for years and years, and what does that mean to your blood test results? What does that mean to your physicality? Um, as I mentioned in my last video, we started doing pink salt 1/8 teaspoon per pint in our drinking water, and it was from August 2013 through December of 2014, and then in January of 2015, throughout that whole year of 15, we were doing 1/4 teaspoon. We bumped it up in January of 2015 because of this lady we were buying minerals from. And at that point in 2015 through 2016, all the way through 20 February of 2017, this is the record I wanted to prove here. I'm sorry, 2016. You see February 13th there, 2016 is when that blood test was done. So at this point, when this blood test was done, I had been doing salt in my water for the first year and a half, and then the second year and a little bit, salt in the water at 1/4 teaspoon per pint. In addition, in our daily dose of drinking water, I was doing but both of us were doing 3 teaspoons of magnesium liquid, and then 2 teaspoons of a mineral complex that had a bunch of different minerals, necessary minerals, all of that for but 2.5 years in our water consistently, and it hasn't changed since. But let me just tell you the results. Let's go over this blood test results, which is what I wanted to show, and where does the rubber meet the road when it comes to adding sea salt to your water. Currently, I still do 1/4 teaspoon per pint of my water, like my last video described, and you'll see in some of the comments there. But here's the blood test results taken literally after a year and a half of salt in our water and magnesium for a year. So let's go down the pages here. I don't claim to know anything about these blood test results. I just know the way it was delivered to me in this format, it's easy to read and it's easy to understand what the target of each value is and what it means when it's in the green versus being in the red. Being in the red is kind of obvious where you're either going too low or going too high. First numbers here, this shows, as you'll see on the screen, total cholesterol 183. The next result, that's total cholesterol. The next result, excuse me, LDL cholesterol 91, reference range 0 to 129. What's this next one? Cholesterol HDL 2.6. You can see it's in the green. Reference range is 0 to 4.9. Let's go down the list here. Okay, let's see here. Liver and kidney health, gamma glutamyl transpeptidase. I don't, I don't know what any of this is, but there's the results. 40 UL out of 0 to 65. It's in the green. What's the next one? Alanine aminotransferase. I'm probably butchering these words, but the fun is in the results. 39 versus or out of 0 to 45 as a reference range. AST aspartate aminotransferase 26 out of 0 to 33, green. BUN, blood urea nitrogen 11 mg out of a range of 9 to 25. Creatinine, zero point 0.8 milligrams out of a reference range of zero point 0.7 to 1.5 milligrams per deciliter. Okay, we're still looking good. Let's see here. Glucose, reference range 60 to 109, 68. Mind you, during this time, we're not gym rats. We don't have a gym membership. We still don't have a gym membership. Basically get our workouts while working, but not necessarily going to running on the street. Or I do some road biking here and there, but not heavily. But we definitely are not gym people. Blood pressure. This is pretty indicative of my blood pressure right now. At the time of this test, January or February 2016, 110 over 72, 120 over 80 is the normal range. And here I had a lower blood pressure than the standard. Body mass index was wrong. The gal put me in at a couple inches shorter than I was. I'm 71 inches high, 5'11", and she put me in at 69 inches, as I'll show you here. So this BMI came out a little incorrect, but that's okay. It's always about what you're eating. And here's some additional health insights: metabolic syndrome, all green, 0 out of 5. Glucose 68, HDL 70, as we already tried. Triglycerides 108, blood pressure 110 over waist circumference NA. Let's see here. What else we got here? I think this is a guide to help you dial in your numbers that they give you in the back of this test results. Just wanted to get this uploaded so it could show you guys, and I'll make another video of my next blood test I took a few years later. In this test, as you'll see, this is the summary. Upper left, 5'9". Nope, 5'11". So that was off a little bit. That did affect what the BMI was, but otherwise, you can see from everything on here, everything is in the green. And I think the looks like urine creatinine is below range, and protein creatinine ratio is below range. It's actually right on the dot, point 0.2 versus being 0 to point 0.2. So, and that might be because what we drink is mineral water. Our water is mineral water, which is homemade mineral water. We take our reverse osmosis. We add a quarter teaspoon per pint of sea salt, unrefined sea salt, to that water. In addition, we add magnesium, liquid magnesium, and we add, at this time, liquid potassium. The mineral complex we rarely use anymore, so we just basically spike our water with magnesium and potassium in addition to the sea salt minerals. So it's basically a high performance mineral water. That's what we're doing with our water lately. And here's the next page: total protein, globulin, blood glucose, all the same results we saw earlier. As you can see, the BMI is in the red right there because of the height miscalculation. Let's see here. There was one more thing I wanted to point out, which I thought was very interesting. It might not be on this report. It might be on the previous one. So I'll have to wait for that one to show you. Let me see if I can find it. Not yet. It's on the next report. So that's basically it. Last year in 2022, the temperatures were 95 here in Southern California. I was riding my road bike for about 3 months. I was training on my road bike just to be able to ride from Long Beach to San Diego. And what I pulled off was pretty incredible. On the day that it took about 3 months of riding. I was riding about 3 days a week, maybe 2 days a week on average. So I'd ride 30 miles, then 40 miles, then 50 miles. And I would ride from Long Beach to Doheny and back, which was an 80-mile ride. And at some point, I figured, what the heck? I can do 100 miles. Why not? So I decided to go all the way to San Diego and then take the train back. So on the day I was going to do this, I didn't know I was going to do it. And I had my battery charged up. I had headphones on. But I realized about 35 miles in, I'm going. I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to go through Camp Pendleton or whatever I'm going to do. So I stopped using my phone. I kept the battery, fully charged as much as I could, and I just kept riding. And I carry my salt with me and my liquid minerals, and I actually make a mixture. I'll take two tall bottles, and I will have them on my bike. And when I run out of one, then I'll, you know, before the next one runs out, I'll hit up a 7-Eleven or some kind of store, and I will refill with some, purest water I can find. I try and get the water that's called purified, so that way I can add my minerals, and then it tastes like what I'm used to drinking. On this day, I drank 7 quarts of water, and I went to this stop somewhere in Encinitas, little bathroom, little outhouse. I took one small pee. It was about a 9 hours total time ride, 7 hours 55 minutes moving, and I guess maybe it was about another half an hour of stopping at lights, and 7 quarts of water, mineral water. And my body was literally just pumping out this sweat like crazy because it was hot. And in addition, I wasn't able to go through the base that was closed because they were doing some maneuvers and delivering material from a ship, and they were bringing it onto the land. And so I had to take the freeway on my bicycle, on my road bike, from Barcelona to Las Pulgas. You have to get off and the rest stop and the viewpoint, get back on all the way down to Oceanside, Harbor Drive, and then all the way to San Diego, up Torrey Pines Hill, which is fun, and then down into Old Town Village. That was 100.5 miles. I bring this up because this water I make literally is the proper fuel for mine and your body. You can see from my blood test results, they're just all in the green, but the performance that you get out of the water, that's the real main point of all of this. To be able to ride 100 miles as basically an amateur cyclist is an incredible feat for myself. And my next goal is to ride to San Diego, 100 miles, and ride back another 100 miles. So that'd be called a double century, I believe. But that's it. That's basically my blood test results. I just wanted to share those with you. My next blood test results for 2 years later, I'll have another video following up with that. Have a great day. Have fun.